Good morning, everyone. It's Friday, September 23rd, 2022. My name is Barry Cowan. I am your host today and the president of the Deerfield Beach Computer Club since August of 2005. To those of you who celebrated, I would like to wish you a happy and healthy Rosh Hashanah, Erev, which means the evening before, is Sunday night, and Rosh Hashanah means literally the head, which is Rosh, the top of your head, and Hashanah is the year. So the head of the year is a new year for us. I forget what the number is. I think it's something like 5782. Is that correct? I'm not sure. If Kevin was here, he would tell us. Anyway, a lot happened. On September 12th, my 79th birthday, iOS 16 was released to the public. Over 300 or 400 different new features. I put it on, waited about 3 or 4 days, and it's just amazing, the amount of features in there. I don't have time to go over them, but I might show you something at the end if we do have time concerning accessibility, which actually is a great segue into today's presenter, Judy Taylour, who I'm proud to call my friend. Judy's a 34-year member of the Santa Clarita Valley Computer Club, where she serves as president and webmaster. She co-facilitated the Southern California Regional User Group Summit called SCRUGS, S-C-R-U-G-S, a group of computer clubs in Southern California that met quarterly for over 20 years to share ideas and present information, solve problems, and more. This work helped 2 groups remain active. She spent 23 years involved with the Southwest Technology Conference held in San Diego for 20 years and 3 years at Cal Poly in Pomona. In addition, she served as chair or co-chair for 21 years. Her responsibilities included registration, scheduling speakers, and working with volunteers. She taught adult education technology classes for over 20 years through her local high school district. She's a member of the Pierce College Computer Applications and Office Technology, COAT, Advisory Committee. They meet annually to suggest courses and hardware for the next school year. She's a firm believer in lifelong learning and enjoys giving presentations via APCUG Speakers Bureau. She has already given a blockbuster presentation on digital estate planning to us, and you're in for a highly informative and entertaining time. So without further ado, it gives me a great pleasure and a distinct honor to introduce to you today's guest speaker, Judy Taylour. Let's give her a sitting ovation. Okay, Judy, take it away.
Thank you, Barry. Oh, hold on. You do that the right way. It's help. Can't see, can't hear, can't touch. The name of the presentation was put together by the president of the Glendora Seniors Computer Club, and he has all 3 of those challenges. So I thought, well, then it's not going to offend anybody because he's, deals with all of them. And it's all about accessibility. And the presentation is brought to you by APCUG Speakers Bureau, a benefit of your group's membership in our association. That's me, and off we go. It's interesting about creating accessible documents, and I still have this feature turned on. And accessible and assistive tech is designed for needs of many different users. And as you can see by the title, the three that I've chosen to talk about. And this presentation explores software, hardware, peripherals, accessibility, assistive technology, you name it, to make the computer, phone, or tablet easier for us to use. And when you turn this on, all of your presentations are checked for accessibility. And depending upon how, good you are about putting your documents and your presentations together, you might get one that says, like, almost over to the right, no accessibility issues found. Hey, I come up with something like that natively, and I think, good job, Judy. You're thinking about what you're putting together, so it works for everybody. And this presentation came about. The North Texas group had a board meeting, and they said, what would you like a presentation on? And one of them said, how about accessibility features? So they got in touch with me and said, would you please put one together if you don't already have one? And I said, sure. So this also, that list of things there says no accessibility issues. Good job. And it's file, options, ease of access. And like I say, I keep mine turned on all the time. I don't always hit the mark, but I try each time I put something together to send out to anybody. Low vision, your monitor has a touch keypad. It's right up there in your face. And again, it's under ease of access. And you can use it with your fingers. You can use it with a pointer, you name it. It's just a different way of keying in the information. Sticky keys, key sounds. I love the key sounds. I hit all the time when I'm hitting the tab key, I get a little bit of a caps lock. And without the sound, I would then look up and see, oh my gosh, I've got a whole paragraph and it's all in capital letters, darn it. And I have to go back and put it in sentence case and take time to fix it. But with the key sound on, I hear the little tick and I think, okay, Judy, you hit the caps lock at the same time. And I quickly click on the caps lock, get another little ding, and off I go without having to fix anything. Control Shift, Control Alt or the Windows key. We press them one at a time. Well, you press the Shift key 5 times to turn on sticky keys, and it works really well. This is a mouse that I used to show the first night of my Introduction to Computers and Windows class. So if nobody in the room needed anything like this, they would know that there are these huge mice out there that they can share the information with a friend or relative. And all you need to do is put your hand on there and move your whole hand. Your fingers can be sticking out into the wind. It doesn't make any difference. And it is so easy to move everything around, and it's stationary. So you don't have to think about figuring out how to keep it on your mouse pad, whatever. It is pricey, $85, but well worth it. It's very smooth to use, and there's the big right and left click buttons. This is another version of it. And anytime you can choose a mouse where you are not actually moving it around on your mouse pad, it's stationary, it's better for your wrist and your whole entire hand. This is an ergonomically correct mouse, and they take some getting used to using, but again, well worth it. You can change your mouse pointer. I love high visibility green. I tried the high visibility green and went, oh my gosh, I can't live with that. And I went back to the black in the upper right-hand corner, and all computers that I set up, I show them how to make their pointer larger. And this is extra large inverted, which means it's black on white. And I have used this for years. I wear computer glasses. It's much easier for me to find my mouse on my screen. I use a very large screen. I had a 17-inch monitor all the time. I have a 27-inch monitor now, and it's just easy to see instead of the tiny little one that comes with your Windows operating system. And again, look at all the rainbow colors you can change it to anytime you want to. So you could, if you wanted to, you could change your mouse to color to match your outfit every single day. And single click is another option that is an accessibility issue. Many people have difficulties double clicking, and they just can't do it. Even if you slow the double click speed down, it is not easy for them to do it. So one of the things that I immediately set up when I am putting a computer together for somebody is the single click option. And that way, if they're new to computers, they don't have to remember of when do I single click, when do I double click. It's just single click all the way. And again, you could slow or speed up your mouse pointer speed. I sat down at grandson number 2's gamer computer the other day, and it was on, and I started the mouse around, and I thought to myself, oh my gosh, I could never live with this. And that tiny little mouse pointer was whipping around like crazy. Well, mine is, remember, the larger one, and I keep the speed normal, but I have had people say, you know, I just can't deal with this fast speed of this, you know, I'm looking around and oh my gosh, it's someplace else. So click on the bar, slow it down to the left. And then you can choose how many lines you want your mouse wheel to scroll. Some people are only comfortable with one, so they can focus on that one line instead of 2 or 3 or more lines. So here's all the things you can do with it. If you have a left-handed person and they are just starting to use computers, by golly, let them use the mouse with their left hand. You just merely need to check the first box, and it changes the primary buttons for them. You can make, like I said, you can make it slower. You can display pointer trails. That's the third checkbox down. I don't know if you have ever seen somebody give a presentation, and when they move their mouse around, all of these little, you know, tails follow it. If back in the day, that used to be suggested of when you give a presentation so people can see your mouse, do that. And it drives most people crazy, but every once in a while I will find somebody that's the way they like their mouse pointer displayed. It's easier for them to see it. It's easier for them to find it wherever it is on their monitor. High contrast. This might be something for you. Bill James lives with high contrast. Drives me crazy, but this is the only way he has everything set. When you get your Windows or your operating system out of the box, it comes in at 100%. Forever and a day, I have set mine at 125%, and you can go higher than that. It's always been easier for me to see. And I'm not going to be sitting here leaning over and peering at my screen as I see some people do, when all you need to do is make it 125% instead. Or more. Here's 175%. Fills your whole screen there. Perfectly clear. And this is the different sizes with your start menu in Windows 10. What you do is you make it work for you. And if you're thinking, well, you know, I know about this, well, it's a refresher or it's a reminder. Remember those friends and relatives who are squinting at their monitors, and you can think, oh, that's right, I can show them how to make everything larger for themselves. And here it is the way I look at it, as opposed to Bill. And you'll notice on the right-hand side, you know, I don't see, if I were to use that one, I would not see as much. I'd have to scroll down and I'd have to scroll across. And here's your icons, small, medium, and large, so to speak. There are people that just love those huge icons on the right. It works for them. It makes it so much easier for them to do things. And the ever popular taskbar. Again, mine set at 125%. It has been for years and years and years. 100% is how it comes out of the box. Your pleasure. If you haven't changed it, give it a try. See if 125 makes you go, oh my gosh, it's so easier for me to find things now. And you can make your text also larger. And it's all in ease of access. You just drag the slider over to the right, and your A gets bigger. The magnifier. The magnifier is fun to use. It takes some skill to use it. And again, you can turn the settings on. Windows logo key plus turns it on. Windows logo key escape turns it off. And you can change your zoom level on whatever you're comfortable with. And you can set it that you automatically turn it on if you're going to use it all the time. Of course, you're going to do that. Most people just use it in certain instances where they really need to drill down and see something really large. And you just move your mouse around and it will magnify where you are pointing. And the rest of your screen stays the normal setting that you have. You can make it full screen if you'd like to. And you can have it follow your mouse pointer. It can focus on your keyboard, text cursor, narrator cursor, you name it. You can customize this to beat the band. If it's an option that you need, it is very beneficial. And it's, again, ease of access, magnifier, turn on. And here up left-hand side, that's just regular, but now it's magnified 200%. Having problems seeing the shapes, which one do I want to choose? I thought there was one with square corners. I thought there was one with round corners. I can't quite make that out. Turn the magnifier on and it's kind of in your face and makes it much easier to see and to choose. And I love this one. I use this every single day, every single document I put together. At one of my meetings years ago, John raised his hand and he says, Judy, he said, I think I've got a tip for you. I don't know whether you know this or not. And he said, go into view and zoom and choose page width. Oh my gosh, that was one of the best tips that anybody had ever given me. A lot of people change their font size to make it easier when they're working on their documents. And then of course they have to change it back to 12 if that's what they print their documents in. With page width, your document is from side to side, top to bottom, and it prints at 8.5 by 11 size. You do not need to change the font size back. It just expands everything. And it is so much easier to find things, to make changes, to make edits, just in putting your document together. And I mean, that is, like I said, that is the best tip that anybody has given me when working with documents. So here's the regular view up at the top, and down at the bottom is the full screen. But again, it will print out on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper perfectly. Use 2 monitors. I can't. That makes me feel bad because of the way my setup is where I am right now. I'm looking out at my backyard and across the canyon to the other side. But there's a 32-inch TV set up with my laptop, and I could make, somebody said, I use that all the time, and my font on my TV screen is 120. Super simple. Fantastic for me to be able to see. So if you could have an opportunity where that can happen, good job. And I have one of those ring lights, but even if people aren't on Zoom constantly, this is my this is my 8th presentation this month. I have one more, but you can see how my little setup is in the family room. And my ring light sits on top of my laser printer, and everything just prints between the feet. It works just fine. Looks tacky, but that's all I've got here where I am. But it's an excellent light on your area. So if you're not on Zoom, people aren't, that's not their thing. Having a light like that makes everything so much brighter in just your area and easier to see on the screen. You can see your keyboard. You can just see everything easier with the brightness. And narrator. Narrator is excellent to use. It describes what's on your screen. It will read your document to you. You've worked with your document. If nothing else, you've worked with your document. You've edited it 2 or 3 times. By that time, we are seeing what we think it should say. And so if you have narrator read it to you, if you don't need it for any other reason than that, it's a good way to proof your document. And all of a sudden you're listening to it and you went, wait a minute, that's the wrong word, but you've read the right word every time you've edited it before this. If you're challenged with your eyes, have your documents read to you. Incoming documents, documents you're putting together, you name it. You can choose your, person who is talking to you, Windows key plus H to start and stop. You set it up. When you need it, you turn it on. When you don't need it, then you turn it off. And you can talk to your computer. Use your voice to control your device, and it's under speech. And you need to take a few to set your computer up to recognize your voice via who they call the wizard. And Windows plus Control plus S starts, and you just talk in a normal, tone. You don't talk like that. You just talk normal, slow it down a skosh, and it is just close to perfect. And you can put your punctuation in, period, paragraph, the whole 9 yards. So if you're not into typing, it's difficult for you to type, this is an excellent way to get your documents together because you just talk to your computer. So you can talk to your computer and your computer can talk to you. And they suggest you need a headset microphone. I use, it works just fine with my webcam. It worked just fine with my built-in microphone in my laptop. I did not actually need a headset microphone, but that's what they suggest. But we don't always have to pay attention to Microsoft's suggestions. And there's lots of choices. And Windows 11 has all those same things. But of course, in Microsoft's infinite wisdom, they changed where they are a little bit. But everything that I just showed you is in that Windows 11 list. And there it is the other way, just in case Bill James is looking over my shoulder from Oklahoma.
Excuse me, Judy.
Yes.
Larry Hirschhorn has posted something. I found numerous applications don't or can't adjust their window size properly when you go above 100%. So often buttons at the bottom of the window don't show.
I've used 125% for 1,000 years and I've never had a problem.
Okay.
That's just my experience.
I've used a couple of different applications where that is a problem. To report a problem, the confirm or the cancel button down on the bottom can't be accessed unless you use the tab key and hope that you land on the proper button.
What programs are you having problems with?
One specifically is NordVPN. Was it CCleaner had that problem. I don't use
Really?
it that often, so I'm not sure of it right now.
And what
I've
size?
switched by, I've ran with 125% for a long time and had to adjust my font sizes in my browser. Yeah, it caused problems for me. I've gone back to the defaults.
Really? Well,
Yeah,
you can use your mouse key. I believe it's like, what is it? Windows key and your roller on your mouse, and that will make your browser screen larger or smaller. NordVPN is online. And you can make your, like I said, you can make your browser screen a little bit that way. But that doesn't change when you go back into Word and things like that. You still are at 125%.
Okay, Larry, we're gonna move on, but thank you.
Yeah.
We can talk about it later on.
So
All right.
thank you
good.
so much for sharing that. I appreciate it. So you can remember those toggle keys, your num lock, your sticky keys. You get that sound. A num lock is on your keypad. And when it is on, it is a number keypad. Like if you knew 10 key, it works for you. And if for some reason you have touched the num lock key, all of a sudden you're keying in numbers and you look and you say, hello, where are they? Well, it's turned into the symbols, page up, page down, arrow to the right, arrow to the left, up and down. And I prefer to use those natively where they are on the keyboard and use that as a num lock. So again, the sounds work really well to alert you of many things. Closed captions. I'm loving closed captions. I am so glad that Zoom finally got their act together after a couple of years, and you didn't have to use a different program, that they had one that runs natively. And these are all the options that you have when you set it up in your Windows operating system. And, you know, you can customize it to 50, 100%, 150%, 200%. There's the default in the lower left-hand corner. And then here's the next size larger. Captions look like this with that default. That works for me. With Zoom, you can, turn it on for everybody. And if you don't need closed captions, you just turn it off. It's like John Kennedy says at our our Wednesday workshops, he doesn't like to see what he's talking about. So he turns his on, but we have it turned on for everybody. And that just might be something that you like, is you like to see you use the closed captions. But again, you can customize the color, transparency, style, size, a laundry list of things you can do to make it your own. Give it a try. And you can set it up on Chrome. It's interesting, to set it up on Chrome, you have to have it set up in your operating system first. Edge, it's of course good to go. And I have take my breath away down there, because we would plug our speaker into my laptop at every meeting, and I'd say, oh, we need to check the speaker, and they're going, oh no, we don't have to hear that Top Gun song again, do we? And I'd say, of course we do. And we'd get a chance to, hear a little bit of Take My Breath Away by Berlin. And if that closed captions are on with YouTube, not every video on YouTube has the closed caption option, but if you have it turned on, and they do, it pops right up and you can sing along with the songs, because there are the words that you may have forgotten. So everybody had it, but Zoom, they had the third party where you could assign somebody to type in what people were talking about. Didn't work very well. The rest of them had it automatically. Zoom was the new kid on the block when it came to that. And if one of your ears has better hearing than the other one, you don't have to listen to it in stereo. You can up the sound on your left speaker or your right speaker. And that way you're hearing it mostly with your good ear, so to speak. Windows 11, there's 3 choices right there. You have easier to hear, change your caption settings, text or visual alternative to sounds. Again, they have things grouped a little bit differently. With 10, everything is under ease of access. And here's, again, in the dark mode. And in Windows 11, it's called Dexterity and Mobility. Again, everything is there that we talked about, just set up a little differently. And stuff we didn't talk about. Use the screen reader. Your smartphones, you can customize those to beat the band to make them easier for you to use. iDevice features vision, hearing, physical, and motor skill settings. And you just go to the control center, customize control, tap next, and you're off and running. Do you want accessibility shortcuts? Set up the magnifier. Do you want to, work with you? Wear hearing aids, and you want to set up your phone so it works with your hearing aids. An accessibility shortcut is triple clicking the home button. Slow down, double click, triple click speed of the home button. And again, you can customize your iDevice exactly the way you have your Windows operating system. You say, gee, I like magnification at this amount. I like this feature and that. You can transfer that over easily with customizing your iPhone. They call it VoiceOver. Hear what is happening on your screen. VoiceOver plus Braille. They have a magnifier, can have almost any text read aloud to you. Use speak under finger option. Zoom in and out. It's difficult for you to track things, reduce the motion. Audio, watch movies with detailed audio descriptions of every scene. They have the dark mode. You are absolutely loving working with your computer in the dark mode. You can do the same thing with your phone. Siri helps you complete your tasks that you do every day. Apple has quite a number of hearing aids that they work with. And it's super simple to set everything up to partner with them. For headphones, that sound recognition, those are the alerts, certain sounds and alerts. This is a fire alarm or a doorbell. You can set that up. Live, 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 listen. You're in a restaurant and it's noisy. There's all this buzz around you and you have a call that you need to take. Live listen will help drown out those background sounds so you can quickly talk on the phone. Sensory, vibrating alerts, incoming call, LED light flashing for incoming, or displays a photo of the caller. You get a gentle tap every time a notification comes in. They have the same, playing both audio channels in both ears. Real-time text sends the text as you are composing it. You can use your finger to scribble letters on this display and it will turn into typed text. There's that ever popular closed caption. There's a noise app, tracks decibel levels of the sounds around you. I love that. Could negatively affect your hearing. Do you know how bad our grandkids' hearing is going to be when they're our age, for heaven's sakes, and their posture? You can't convince them otherwise. Speak screen, speak your selection, typing, feedback, predictive text. It learns, what you're going to say next, and it types it for you. Voice control, navigate with a single tap. Tap on the back opens a favorite app. You got a system tap. Pinch or tap won't work for you. Swap those with a gesture that does. Create one that works for you. On-screen accessibility touch keyboard. You can attach a hardware keyboard. Dictation, talk whenever you would type. We saw that in the Windows. And then there's that predictive text. Your device will finish the sentence for you. Fun and games. And there's a slide about how you connect your hearing aids to your device on a Pixel. These are for Android devices. Android natively doesn't have as many activities that we can change, so to speak. Bill James gave a demo with his Samsung. Well, he used the Samsung Health that went along with it. But because there's Verizon and Motorola and T-Mobile and all the providers have extra things that they add, they sometimes don't have a lot of health apps. And when I Google it, Google says, you know, you have to go to the Play Store and choose yours. With the iPhone, it's way cool. They're all built in. I have always used an Android phone. My kids and grandkids are strictly iPhone people, but I'm an Android. I had like 3 Pixels and I changed to an iPhone because after I finished putting this presentation together, I thought, you know, I want to use a lot of these things and put them together easily. And especially this, you know, the slip and fall. And our standing joke is mom can be at home, slip and fall, and we would never know about it. And then the cats would eat her. So I love that part of it. There is an Android accessibility overview. All the links are live. You're going to get a copy of the presentation. And you got your software and your accessories. I volunteered at a senior housing area. I went in every Thursday afternoon and was in the computer lab, made sure the computers all were updated. I was available to answer any questions. I had a few, you know, casual classes. And one of the gentlemen came in and he said, well, he was, you know, going blind. And he was very tech aware. And I said, you know, I've got a keyboard for you. And I had got, and again, this is something that I showed at my first introduction to Windows and Computers class. I showed all of the accessibility things like the large mouse. And I showed this. And I got that at the Braille. I got mine at the Braille store in downtown LA. But this is the version on Amazon. And this enabled him to use his computer for a year and a half more. And he was just in hog heaven. He thought that was absolutely fantastic. He'd never heard of anything like this. The backlit helps with vision also, if they want to still keep using their keyboards and make it easy for them to do. But that big yellow, and it is a little bigger than a regular keyboard, but it works wonders. They just pop at you. And we have said president of the local group who came up with the title, and he's vision challenged and he loves a Chromebook. And so he said, Judy, you know, I can't, you know, use my regular Braille keyboard like the one that he got his at the Braille store too. And so he looked on Amazon and he said, I found stickers. And he was so excited about that. So that is his laptop with his stickers to make it easier for him to see the keys on his Chromebook. So that's his accommodation for himself and his keyboard. And that's the difference of sizes. Really not that much bigger, but it's more in your face. Keys are larger, keys are taller. Dragon Home used to be called Dragon Naturally. It's pricey. It's always been pricey, but it's a magnifier reader. Talking about Bill James again, he has a friend who is legally blind. My daddy was, but he had macular degeneration. She can see a little tiny bit, but she used this for years. And I said, why don't you try some of the Windows accessibility features? She's loving those much more than Dragon. and she saved $200. There's this innovative thing that magnifies your screen. Goes up to a 24-inch monitor. Hearing aids and Bluetooth helps you stay connected to your iOS, Android phones, TVs, tablets, other favorite audio devices. Of course, Apple has everything patented one way or the other. They have, like I said, lots of options for working with your hearing aids. And the Opticon, it's a hearing aid solution. It's brain hearing technology. They all have buzzwords. And this is one of the things that the president of the local group uses, and also a real estate broker who is a member of our Senior Center Advisory Council. Because he's always, I mean, he just thought when Zoom got captions, he died and gone to heaven. He could attend meetings so much easier. But he actually has to take somebody with him when he shows a house in case he misses something that the people are saying. And he also uses this. So both Jim and Steve use this product. And it hangs around your neck, or it clips if you happen to wear a tie, or clips to your shirt. And they just say it's absolutely fantastic. And the best thing that happened to them, the president of the computer club says the only problem is you don't want to wander too far away from your computer. You just kind of need to stick close by because of the Bluetooth connectivity. Here's another option. Noise canceling wireless Bluetooth headphones, microphone. Don't lose your charging stand. And there's our friend Wise. So many people are buying from the Wise kids now. Good prices on everything. And Chrome and Edge. Set up your accessibility options in your browsers. Firefox, whichever browser you use, go in and set up the accessibility options there. It's like I tell everybody that when you first get your new operating system, you need to start at screen one and go through every single thing and customize it to make your own. And then when you get a major build, then you kind of need to go back again, because Microsoft is known to go, change back to the default after you have customized it yourself. Well, you do the same thing with your browser. And I find so many people haven't taken the time. They just start using their browser, but you need to go in and customize it so it works for you. It works better for you. This tells you how to customize it. And here's my thing, customize the read page. You don't feel like looking at the document and reading it. Click on the read option and your document will be read to you. You can make the fonts larger. The default is ordinary, and you use the slider down there. And how much easier is the bottom 3 lines to read than the top, and it's just for that document. Okay. And you download the extension from the Chrome Web Store, and you can have your text read to you. Okay. Google Docs says we're working on more stuff all the time. Here's Edge. This is what it looks like in 100%. There's 125%. Again, you can use your scroll wheel or the plus or minus sign, or down in the lower right-hand corner to change the size of the fonts that you're looking at on your browser page. And then you go in and you set up the accessibility options. Edge is my go-to browser. I love the fact that the inactivity Tabs going to sleep means they're just grayed out. And that's not, using as much of your internet stuff. You want your web page read aloud to you, you can decide male, female, Control Shift U, it will read to you, or you click on the book on the address bar. Not all websites support the immersive reader. They don't have that option built in on them, but there you go. There's the control plus the mouse scroll wheel to make the web page larger or smaller, just on the fly. And here in the edge, you can customize it again. You can split the words into syllables. You can, you're only interested in the nouns. I don't know why, but you can make them all purple, so they pop out at you. You can set up the picture dictionary. When your cursor changes to a star, select the word to see a picture. Again, your line focus. Do you want 1 line, 3 lines, more than that? Translate it into a language because you know a second language and you want to brush up on it. So turn it into the language that you're using. You're getting ready for that trip and you want to make sure you got it aced. Well, practice with your browser. And there it is at 100% and 150%. And there's a word being highlighted. Your noun, your adjective, whatever you'd like to have highlighted. And then I have resources that go along with what we talked about. Do we have any questions?
If you have any questions, click the raise hand icon to be recognized and then unmute yourself. Okay, Larry. Larry, unmute yourself. Do you have a question? Go ahead.
There
Yeah,
you
it
go.
helps to do that.
We never remember.
Yeah. Going back to when you were referring to using a second monitor, I use a TV, actually a 40-inch TV. And I don't know if it's my laptop and Windows setup, but you seem to indicate that you could separately change the font size on the second monitor.
Yep.
And I'm curious as to how you would do that.
I don't use a second monitor. That is just for my research. So I can't answer that.
I can't figure it out. I mean, the size of the font is okay, and everything is enlarged pretty big. But my mouse relative size on my laptop is, let's say, that. Okay, but on the second monitor, it's down. It's tiny. It's almost a speck, and I can't. I've been trying to figure out, how to change that.
Did you Google the question?
No, I don't use Google for
Okay.
questions.
What?
But yes, I could Google the question.
Yes, I just used Google, and right behind me, John Kennedy is saying, Judy, you should say DuckDuckGo it. I don't find the results of DuckDuckGo as robust. And when I ask a question, I type a full sentence like I would ask you a question, Larry. And I would teach my students the keywords. Remember the keywords that you're interested in. I just type a full sentence and I figure the search engines are smart enough to pick out the words they want. And I usually get exactly an answer to what I'm looking for. But I also don't take the first answer. I'll look at several different things. So if you prove me wrong, I'm Judy Taylour at apcug.org. Let me know.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Larry. Marcia, you may unmute yourself now and ask your question.
Yeah, I had a question about using that closed captioning business. With the settings on Windows 10, I'm at the settings and I'm at the closed captions area, but I don't see anything where it tells you about turning closed captions on. I see it says preview and change caption font and all different things that, you know, color and transparency. But how do you turn closed caption on?
If I don't have that in my presentation, I will look and see. I will put the steps in for you. But again, if I came upon that right now, I would go to my browser and I would ask the question, how do I turn closed captioning on in Windows 10?
Yes, I know to do that. I just figured since you're here.
Yeah, I mean, that's my go-to. Instead, you know, I would tell my students, go to the source. You know, if you need to know something and you're sitting there all by yourself, just, and I'm going to use the words again, Google it, since that's the catchphrase. And don't try, you noodled around a little bit and nothing has popped out at you and said, Marcia, click here. That goes from there. I can't tell you natively because when I put this presentation together, it was last year.
Okay.
And it's
will
on.
Will I need to do something different or say this Zoom presentation to see the closed captioning for what people are saying?
That's on Barry's end. He needs to have it available. And if you're the only one who needs to use it, that's fine. The rest of those people who don't would click on the X and the little drop down at the top would go away. But it's absolutely fantastic for people.
Okay, thank you.
So you're saying it's my job to set it up for the meeting?
Yes.
Judy? Is that in the settings?
Your account.
Okay.
And in reference, Judy, to what you were saying about wandering around looking for things, when I was in college, they taught me that there would be teaching machines in the future, and this was back in the 60s, and they said that two things that I remember, they would be non-judgmental and you could proceed at your own pace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in reference to what you're talking about, and that's computer world, definitely.
Yeah. And you have to tell yourself, I can't hurt anything. I'm just looking. And before you click the checkbox, I always tell people, before you click the checkbox to change anything, write down where you were in the first place. So if you go, oh, I really hate that, but ooh, I don't know the way it was before, write it down. Right. I always have a shorthand tablet because it's small instead of an 8.5, 11 piece of, notebook type paper. And I have it here at all times. And if I need to make a note, that's what I do, because our brains are so full of everything over time that I just might not remember the setting. I might not have even paid attention to the way it was set before I changed it.
Yes, well, you're lucky you don't have a computer that's going to tell you that you did something wrong by name. And I did have that because one of the people who worked for me many years ago went on to set up most of the things that Apple uses. He became one of the vice presidents there. And he set it up so that he would tell me, Marcia, do you really want to do that?
I love it.
Yeah.
Too cool.
Definitely. Anyone else have a comment they wish to make? Well, let's give Judy a sitting ovation. This was wonderful, Judy. You hit it out of the park as usual. I'm very proud of you.
Does anybody have anything that they do that isn't included in the presentation? I hope you found at least one thing that you're going to try. And what I got a kick out of it when I put this together, I've been setting computers up like this my whole entire life for people. And I'm thinking, who knew it was called accessibility? It just made sense to me, and in my mind, easier to use instead of trying to see the small font. Where's the little mouse? Things like this.
You are so amazing, Judy.
Hey, I'm 1,000 years old and I'm still into learning new things every single day. Technology is
Okay.
absolutely fantastic.
Irving, you have a question? Please unmute yourself.
I think I'm unmuted.
Yes,
I
go
just
ahead.
wanted to say to Judy that I will be looking at this presentation more than once for some of the information to be repeated. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
And don't forget to share with your peers who are clueless or those people who are older than you are and are still clueless about stuff like this. You can help make their computing experience much happier many
Thank you.
times.
Thank you, Irving. And now, Marcia, would you unmute yourself, please?
Yeah, I'm unmuted.
And
I
raise
think
your
she-
volume a little bit, please.
I think she just needs to lower her hand.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
Hey, Marcia, I read minds. What can I tell you? We have to stick together.
Mhm. Go ahead, Marcia.
No, I just forgot to lower my hand, that's all.
Oh, okay. There, I'm going to lower mine right now. There you
Like I
go.
said, I need somebody asking, Marcia, do you really want to do that?
I love that.
Yeah. Well, Judy, I guess that's it for you. You can stick around. We're just going to talk a little bit about accessibility as well. That comes under the umbrella of assistive technology. It's not just software and stuff. It's hardware. It's wheelchairs and devices and everything you go into a standard store to purchase for people who need have one or more disabilities. I mean, that's the actual focus of the entire topic. It's not just, I doubt if anybody could tell me they don't know someone who is disabled right now, or maybe you have one. So it's just something that people our age are dealing with, and it's just part of the aging process. And fortunately, there are more things being developed every day, particularly Apple has in the iOS 16. I'm not going to go into that because that's a class in itself that I might do maybe on October 21st. I'm going to do something about iOS 16, but by that time it may be iOS 16.1 and whatever. So things are so dynamic in the computer world. Judy, are you still there? Okay. I think she's an example of what a presenter should be. She's done so many of them for APCUG, our national organization, that she's very seasoned in it. She's very helpful to me as far as the mistakes that I've made. And again, I want to wish everyone Lashana Tova, which is happy, for Rosh Hashanah. And also, we're going to be meeting the next time on October 7th. And it's my understanding that Yom Kippur Erev is October 4th. So I want to wish everyone may you be inscribed or sealed in the book of life. In Rosh Hashanah, you are inscribed, and then you spend a lot of time with family and friends. It's a happy holiday. You sit down and eat apples and honey and everything else.
Thank you.
And then you figure out everything, all the sins that you've committed for an entire last year. And then when Yom Kippur comes around, you atone for it. So I'm very thankful for everyone's participation. I'm glad to see everyone looking very healthy. And if you have no more to say, I'm going to end this meeting a little bit early. And so this will be posted probably over the weekend for everyone to review. I would wish everyone would please subscribe to our YouTube channel. All you have to do is go on your device and click on the YouTube icon, wherever it happens to be, whether it be desktop or mobile. It will take you to our club's page, and in any video you can click on, you will see in the right-hand corner with your mouse or whatever you're using, you can just tap on the lower right-hand corner. You will see something that gives a logo of our club and it says subscribe. When you do that, we get credit or a hit with Google, and that helps us become more recognized as we go through. Our goal is to get many more subscribers than we have had, and that's the way you do it. So we expect to have other presentations on, as I said, iOS and also Android wherever possible. It's difficult, as you found out, to be able to find one Android phone that's the same as the other. So that's why I maintain that Apple phones and iPads and other devices are the easiest to use. If you have updated to iOS 16, or even if you haven't, there is a section on accessibility on your phone, and there is a tremendous amount there in iOS 16, much too much to cover. And you can always go to apple.com for information on your device, also Apple Watch has many features. Mike, are you waving your hand? Mike, what do you have to say? Oh, he's saying goodbye. There are many features on the Apple Watch. The new one is the Apple Watch 8, and the Watch OS is OS 9. However, reviews and my own review is that you don't really need it unless you're interested in some of the more advanced features. They don't have diabetes monitoring, which I'm waiting for. The presentation on September 7th to me was underwhelming. It was more like instead of a revolution, it was more like an evolution. So I'm not going out and changing my iPhone 13 Pro Max under any circumstances, and I'm keeping my Apple Watch 4, which updated a lot of the features. Of course, it's nice to have oxygen. You can get that separately on a device you can buy, but you can have that blood oxygen feature on the iOS 9, which is very helpful, and the medical ID and things like that, which we're all familiar with. Especially I need that, especially in the situation that I find myself here at home with Beverly. She sends her love to everybody and wishes that, she were well enough to be here. I'm just satisfied that I'm just getting up in the morning, as I said. That's a good day to me. And it's always a great opportunity when I see all of you. So let's say goodbye to each other, wish each other a safe and happy 2 weeks, and we'll see you again on Friday, October the 7th. By the way, it's now fall, came out yesterday, and it's been recognized in many different areas of the country at different times. Plus, we've also got a share of activity in the tropics with hurricanes and storms and everything else, one possibly coming our way. I know there's one coming to Canada. Fiona is on the way to Canada for our Canadian friends. We just wish you all to be safe and healthy. And until the next time, this is Barry Cowan ending the meeting and saying so long till October 7th, when Bob Gastisha will do an update on his excellent cybersecurity in the digital age class, which you can also see online on our club site on the YouTube videos. There he'll have so much material to work with on a daily basis. There's just an amazing amount of scams and things going on as we speak. So be safe and be aware. Knowledge is the best, and education is the best guarantee against getting caught in one of these schemes. If you're not sure, don't click on anything that's unfamiliar, especially a link. And if you're in doubt of getting a scam message, like something from Amazon that I got recently that said your package has been delivered, well, it happened to have been delivered much earlier than that. So, okay. My love to you all. Same to you. Let's say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye, everybody.
Bye-bye. God bless.
Bye, Lashana Tova.